So, should you be an artist in 2026? And if you're already in the 3D industry, what should you do in order to separate yourself with other 3D artists? First of all, based on my experience, I would highly recommend you guys. Hello everyone, this is Rohan and I'm back with another video. So it's been a long time since I've made a video, by the way, on this channel. I made a similar video in 2023, I assume. Yes, I made in March 20th, 2023. I made a video and the video was titled My 1 Year Experience with 3D. Now, it's been 3 years since that video and a lot has changed in my life and also with the 3D industry in general, by the way. So my skills have also gotten improved. I have more knowledge about the industry right now. I'm also doing a course in animation and VFX, my bachelor's course in that, and it's my final year in that. So a lot of the things I'm going to talk in this video is going to be based on my personal experience being in this field and being close to the industry in general and close to industry professionals. So we have like field visits a lot of time in our college and all of that. So I keep hearing about things in the creative industry in general. In this video, I'm going to be covering a lot of things. You can just skip ahead to the part which you want to see. I'm going to be giving the timestamps. So let's start with how I started in 2022. In 2022, I started learning Cinema 4D and Redshift. And since then, I'm mainly using these two softwares only. I have learned Houdini as well, but I don't use it that much because, generally speaking, I don't require a lot of complex simulations and stuff like that. Most of the stuff I can already pretty much do in Cinema 4D. And Cinema 4D has been upgraded a lot recently. There has been a lot of updates related to simulation and stuff like that. So, should you be an artist in 2026? And if you're already in the 3D industry, what should you do in order to separate yourself with other 3D artists? First of all, based on my experience, I would highly recommend you guys to select a specific niche. All right, 3D is not a niche enough. You need to dive deeper in that. When you talk about 3D artist, the thing that comes in mind is a lot of things. It's pretty hard to make out what you are going to do. Are you going to be a product animation artist? Are you going to be a game design artist? Are you going to be making character animations? Are you going to be someone who is going to do simulations, VFX and that sort of thing? Are you going to do architectural visualizations? So there's a lot of things. So I would highly recommend you guys to stick to a specific thing. If you don't have like an idea, I would highly recommend to explore things first and then see what you like the most. The worst thing you can do is to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You've heard that saying a lot of times, and that is absolutely true. Because people are going to check your profile, someone who wants to give you work, and they're going to look that, you specialize in a specific thing, and then they are going to be more confident in you, right? So for example, let's say you have some sort of specific disease, right? So are you going to go to a general doctor or are you going to go to a specialized doctor? Obviously, because they'll be able to help in that. They have more knowledge about that thing, right? So the same way you can apply it here as well. Choose a specific niche and dive deep into that. Make a portfolio based on a specific niche. That's the biggest thing I would recommend you guys. Another thing is not just learning things and just putting it in the portfolio. You need to also meet the quality standards of the industry. So the best way is to go on, platforms like Behance. You can also check LinkedIn profiles of specialists and all of that. And by the way, I would highly recommend you guys to make a profile on LinkedIn and Behance, by the way. That is very important. I know a lot of people probably might already have, but if you guys don't have, please go and make a profile now and start posting things. Even if you are not that active, you can post like once a month or something. Even that is fine, but at least have like a presence there, I would just say. Now coming back to my point, look at the projects on Behance. See how people are making their projects. Do a proper analysis how they made this thing. Take a specific project if you like it, how it looks, the aesthetic of it, if it's solving a specific problem, if it has a specific good thing about it. Take out the good things from those projects and try to reverse engineer in your own projects. So for example, if you like lighting of a specific project, just think about it, how they would have created this specific sort of light. As an artist, I would highly recommend you guys to take inspiration from people. It's not like copying the work of other people, but seeing what is making their renders look good, taking aspects of it. Next thing is, if you have all of that done, you have learned the softwares, if you have created a nice portfolio, what should you do? Should you look for jobs or should you look for freelance work? Now, both have their own merits. I personally do freelance work because specifically where I live, the job market is kind of meh, it's not like that good paying. So freelance has suited me pretty well, and generally they are much higher paying in my opinion. But obviously there's negatives with it as well, that there's going to be a lot of time where you're not going to have any work, and there's going to be some time where you are bombarded with work. So, time management can be a thing with it, and you need to plan things properly. You need to look for clients at the right point. If you, for example, if you're about to finish a project, then you need to be looking for another project, after that. And this thing is totally eliminated with jobs, because if you're doing a full-time job, it's like consistent work, right? So you are guaranteed that you're going to get paid every single month and you're going to be consistent at work. But the only thing is that you lose a lot of freedom in that, and generally it's low paying compared to freelance work. At least for me, that has been the case, that the jobs I have looked for, they have been very low paying compared to the freelance projects I do. Both have their pros and cons. Now the next thing is, since I have started learning 3D, improving myself in the last 4 years, almost 4 years I would say, there has been a lot of changes in the 3D industry in general, and mainly it is due to obviously AI. Now I know AI might be sounding pretty scary for a lot of 3D artists and artists in general, creative people, designers and all of that. They are kind of scared of this thing, but obviously some of the things in the creative industry have had a lot of impact with AI. Like for example, anything related to still images, for example, work with Photoshop, Illustrator and all of that. It has hampered that, 3D still renders, drawings and all of that. So things of that sort have had much more impact because of the nature of those things, right? Because AI is able to generate images pretty easily compared to videos. But obviously, even if you are doing those things, if you are doing it in a nice way, then you still might have a chance. But if I'm talking about 3D specifically, then I'd say I feel like you should look more into the videos and motion images in general. You should look into that, because as a product animation artist, if you guys want to check my reel, you can go and check that out. I recently posted it on my channel. What I have noticed is that recently what has happened, AI has significantly improved in this aspect. For example, if there is a client and he has a product, for example, let's say this speaker I have, so before what they used to do was that they would hire a 3D artist to, do all of the modeling work, or have like a model already built by a CAD engineer or someone, and then give it to like a product visualization artist, and then the artist will set that up, in a place and have like a white background. They will render the still images from different angles. But now the client can literally, what they can do, straight up take a picture from different angles, and if they want to change the background of the image or have like a simple plain white background behind it, they can easily do that with the help of AI. AI can do all of that easily. It will remove the background and have like a plain background behind it. It can generate a pretty nice background with proper integration of the product in the background. The lighting is going to be changed on the product according to the image and all of that. So AI can absolutely do all of that. All right. So that is like a place where, I feel like it's not enough right now. You need to move ahead. The 3D still market, I feel like, is completely gone. So you should proceed further than that. Now, another thing is that even with the video generation, AI is able to do a lot of stuff, with products. So for example, again, if I take the example of this speaker, what people can do is that they can make videos like zoom in videos. So after they generate like a proper background with the product, they can make zoom in effects. They can tilt a little bit. If you give the video generator multiple angles of the product, it can literally generate, a little bit of movement as well in the video. So even in the videos part, AI can generate some things, but this is where AI fails. All right. And I have tested this a lot of times. If you want to have like a complex movement, if you want to dynamically show the product properly, it completely fails at that. All right. So for example, you have this product and you want to have like a camera coming from here orbiting around this speaker, then doing all of that would be kind of hard with AI. I have tried doing all of that and it has been super hard. It always destroys the product, it just distorts it and it looks completely weird. So even after putting different angles, it is not able to generate the video properly. Maybe in the future it is going to develop even more, but for now, as I'm making this video, I have tried it with Kling and all of that, and it is not able to do like complex motions. If the angle of the product changes too much, then AI is not able to do that properly. So those are the things you need to look into. And again, small effects can be done as well. If you want to have like small fluid effect, which is not that complex, then you can have all of that. You want to have small smoke effect, then again you can have all of that. But there's going to be a lot of compromises because it's still going to produce very weird looking results. And if you want to do like minor changes and all of that, then you'll not be able to do that properly. You can try to tweak the prompts and all, but it still gets pretty hard in my opinion, as I have done it myself. But again, still images, simple videos of product, it's almost gone, guys. So you need to adapt to this. You need to make high-end product animation videos right now. That is the thing that you're going to succeed in, and that's what I'm doing. Again, I'm going to put the link of my story in the description description. So all of the things that you see in that showreel, you will have a really hard time doing that with AI and all of that stuff. Maybe in the future you can do that, who knows, right? For example, if someone sees this video like next year or something like that, then they're gonna see, well, this guy was like, what? The AI has completely changed. So that there is a possibility that can happen, but for now it is not there. And realistically speaking, I feel like that is going to take a little bit of time in my opinion. The next thing is using a hybrid way. So not completely neglecting AI, but actually, all right, I know a lot of people have not tried this already, but you can actually implement your 3D workflow with AI. One of my 3D work I have done for a client, and I literally integrated AI with the 3D scene that I have rendered. Now it requires a completely different level of skill set because you need to know how to take out the renders, how you should prompt and all of that. And it took me a lot of trial and errors to arrive at that result. By the way, if you want, I can make a course on that. If you guys want any of that, feel free to leave a comment down below. There's another video, all right, it's similar to that. It's a simpler version that you can just render out a still image in 3D and then you can do like an image to video generation, simple with AI. So you can use VO for that or any other image to video generating, AI. You're free to do that. I have done it personally as well. Another important thing is that I would also highly recommend you guys to create like LinkedIn and Behance or Instagram, however many platforms you want to put your work on, on YouTube, wherever. Just try to put your work out, because if you are just making stuff and you are not posting it, I feel like there's literally no point, because marketing yourself is going to be a very big thing and you should definitely invest your time in that and do that. I myself, because I got a lot of work recently, so I was not able to post regularly on LinkedIn and stuff like that, but right now I have a little bit of time, maybe I will post a little more. But again, I'm kind of doing a self introspection as well, that I should be doing that as well, and I would recommend you guys to do it. And if you want to do freelance work, I would highly recommend you guys to go and check out sites like Upwork, Fiverr. I would not recommend Freelancer because it's kind of scammy. I have not seen people who have done pretty good there. There's people doing good there, but most of the people are kind of scamming there, By the way, I have been a top rated freelancer on Upwork, and let me tell you right now, if you want to start on Upwork, it's going to be a little hard, but you can still try it. But the only issue there is right now they have increased the amount of connects you need to bid on, jobs. So you need to spend a lot more money compared to before, and that is pretty, bad for entry level people. I understand it, but the website was kind of getting filled with a lot of new people. So to decrease the competition, what Upwork did was to increase how much connects you need to bid for every single job proposal, which I feel like is kind of bad for entry level people. But this is like the situation we are currently in, that the labor supply is a lot, but there's not enough jobs for it. So you have to do all these sort of techniques in order to filter people out, which I feel like is not a good method of filtration. But this is how the world works right now, that money becomes kind of like a filter for a lot of people. But try your best. As I said, put your work out there. That would be the thing that I would recommend at least to people. Just put your profile on all these websites like Upwork and Fiverr. On Fiverr, you can actually have like a chance to get clients, because on Fiverr, generally clients come to your profile and all of that. And if you're able to qualify for Fiverr Pro, that can make your chances even better. So you can try that as well. But anyways guys, that's it for this video. This was whatever I learned in the last few years. I used to think in the beginning, in my first year when I made that video, my 1 year experience, I thought at that time that I'm a literal genius. I literally thought at that time. Now, as I have learned more things in the recent years, I think that I was so stupid at that time, that I didn't know anything at that time. A lot of my stuff has improved compared to before. If you see my showreel and then see my previous work, if you check my older videos, you're gonna see a massive difference, in the quality. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.